Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where we are currently pushing across Southeast Asia here, and we're hoping to get to the sea this episode. We'll see if that ends up happening, but if we can cut off the flow of supplies here, that would be a big deal. It'd be absolutely phenomenal. Now down over this way, we're a little bit stalled out, and if I recall correctly, I believe we're waiting on this supply hub, correct? Yeah, that's about half done. That'll be done in about a month. Okay, this is also a level 4 railway. Let's do something about that. So I'm looking at the supply situation out over here, and I'm thinking we could definitely use some further forward supplies. There's a victory point here and a victory point here. So I think we should probably consider building a supply hub in those locations, like so. And then, of course, connecting them up via rail. So that'll come up like that, and then connect in something like that. Okay, so that seems reasonably fine. I'm also thinking... yeah, I think that we should have a supply hub here as well. So we'll do that, and we'll get this moved directly like that. Excellent. Do we need one up over here? Well, this is going to be a supply hub if it's not already. So that should be reasonably fine. And we have a hub going in out over this direction. So I think what we need to do here is we need to motorize this hub, for sure. And that'll help matters somewhat. But we need to get some of these other constructions finished. So let's move these hubs up to the top priority and then work on the railways and then the infrastructure behind that. Speaking of infrastructure, we can get a little bit more infrastructure going here, and we should. So we'll just get that placed right there. Excellent. Okay, so with that done, let's see what we've got going on here. I'd really like to take Hanoi very soon. But these attacks are not going particularly well at this moment. That's absolutely noted. There's an attack up over here. This one's going okay now. I think now that we've got some supplies coming in from up here, it will improve. So that looks good. As far as this goes, we're not in a huge rush to get pushed in the south here. It's mostly the north that I want to be focused on. So, to that end, I'm just looking at the way that our tanks are arrayed here. I think our tanks are going up too far this way. So I want to take... let's see, that's this army group here. Yes. I want to take this, and I want to shorten the front line here to about there. So now we're going to redeploy our tanks, and that's going to be a much better front line for them. Down over this direction, we could try a push here, but I don't think this is going to go well. We'll see. Yeah, we can stop. Okay, we need to wait for supplies over here. So that's absolutely understood. We're pushing in the south more successfully now, and as we get more tanks shifted downward, this should result in significantly better push down over here. In fact, I'm even thinking about changing this front line to be even further south. Why do I not have an edit button here? Okay, that's a little awkward. Apparently there's no edit button here, and this is doing some significant crazy loop-de-loops, but whatever, it's fine. So the real question is, can we take Hanoi? Well, we'd really want to push beyond this river in another non-city direction, ideally. We have managed to push in over this way, so that's good. No doubt about that. And we're continuing to push down towards Nanning as well, which we're very interested in doing, by the way. Keep in mind, there is steel in them there hills. So we're very interested in getting that steel. No doubt about that. But for now, we're just continuing to push over here. This is not a very effective attack on Hanoi right now. Yeah, I definitely want to grab this guy, and I want to adjust this again. Now there's an edit button here. Okay. So I'm bringing this down, and I don't really care to have any of these troops up over here right now. Yeah, there's steel there. We want it, but not yet. So we're going to redeploy these tanks and get down over here, and there's still going to potentially be some successful attacks down towards Nanning. But for the moment, I want to focus on getting this all cut off over here. So, how are we doing on these constructions? Well, we're going to be finishing up a number of these supply hubs very, very soon. So that looks good. We are absolutely delighted to get those done. No doubt about that. Supplies up here are fine, but we're mostly just waiting on this operation to conclude to proceed in the north. I don't really want to push further in the north right now. So we're going to have a bit of a hard time pushing in here, but look at this. They have poor supply in Hanoi now, and we don't. So that's excellent. We're going to motorize this hub. We're going to motorize this hub, and that all looks great. Now, I'm interested in figuring out just how are we doing on some of these down here, right? Because we're not actually making any of this right now. So that's a bit problematic. We might want to change the order of this so that we have some of this being made at least. I don't know. We had a large stockpile, and that's what we've been relying on for supplies this whole time. But eventually that won't become a thing anymore, and we'll have to pause our attacks in order to make additional, particularly infantry equipment, I suspect. Although anti-air is going to be a thing. What's this out over here? Ah, a military district. Perfect. That's going to go into that Coast Guard. So that looks good. We're continuing to attack Hanoi, but this is not much of an attack right now. It's going to take some time for these tanks to arrive down over here, but we're definitely pushing in the south. So these guys might capitulate when Phnom Penh falls. And that's going to throw this entire front down here into chaos. So that's going to be interesting. In the south, we're definitely making significant gains at this point. Hanoi is the linchpin of this whole area, though. If Hanoi doesn't fall, then problems continue. However, it's absolutely fine to push south and then come up this way and come to Hanoi. That's absolutely a valid way to go about this. So I'm not really too concerned about it right now. We're just pushing broadly across this front, and I think it's fine. That's interesting. Apparently Discord has forgotten that OBS is open. That's exciting. That's not supposed to be a thing. Let me just restart Discord here, see if that fixes it. It did not. Okay, so I'm just gonna have to exit Discord for now. That's very, very awkward. Okay, problem solved. Fantastic. So, how are we doing on this offensive now? Looks like we're doing some pushing up here. Okay, we're basically up to Phnom Penh at this point, and that's here, right? I think so. That's going to fall very soon. So that looks... Okay, mute button is no longer causing an issue there. Fantastic. I wonder if Discord acting up has something to do with the issues that have been reported about sentence cutoffs. I've been trying to investigate that. I've not found a solid cause. I guess we'll see if having Discord closed solves that, because that could theoretically cause a problem, I suppose. It shouldn't, but it could. So I guess we'll see if that works. So for now, we're attacking Hanoi, and this is a successful attack in Hanoi right now. This is wonderful. I love to see it. And it's ours. As I said, this is entirely the linchpin of this area. So I want to take a look at what we've got going on here. There is a supply hub here. There's no supply to capital, but this is already set up over here. That looks good. I do want to run a rail line from here to Hanoi. Well, that was awkward. Instead of building the rail line, it was changing the motorization level. Okay, well, that's fine, I suppose. I think that a supply hub here and probably also here makes sense. We're really close to the sea over here. So let's make sure that this is set up over this way. I want to have this come in kind of like that. And then come down over here. Sure, that's a kind of awkward way to go about it, but that's fine. So that looks good. We're probably going to need to have additional infrastructure in some of these areas, right? Actually, not yet. Okay. So this offensive is nearly complete at this point. It has nearly achieved its goal. And that's fantastic. I think... Have we pushed to the sea now? Maybe. We need to move in. I think not quite yet. But we're doing very, very well on that. These guys have not capitulated, but Phnom Penh hasn't fallen at this time. So that's noted. This area being the primary attack vector is absolutely what I want to see. So that's great. Okay, what do we got going on down over here now? We should have supplies over here, right? Yeah, so let's get these tanks moving in down this direction. So let's just have them move into here for now, and we'll see if we're able to actually get any of that pushing done. It'd be wonderful if we can. Okay, so the push is out over here. Ah, here we are. We've made it to the sea, right over here. I think. Yeah, we definitely have now. I don't know what's going on with this order. Okay, so all of our tanks at this point, well, we're going to have some awkward orders here. That's understood. We're going to need to reorganize our lines after we get this situation taken care of. So we've encircled a large number of troops here. They're getting dealt with as we speak. That looks great. But yeah, we're going to have to reorg for sure. Okay, what was that sound? There's apparently a naval invasion down over here. Okay, I'm not sure I actually believe that, but whatever. If there is a naval invasion, we will deal with it. So let's get the QF 6-pounder going here. We've got some other researches that apparently need to happen, and that seems fine. Basic cruiser armor scheme. We could spend naval points, but I'm not going to do that. So let's just go ahead and continue to work on this. It's absolutely fine to get some of this research done. We'll probably want some of it eventually. So destroyers will get minus surface visibility, plus HP, research bonus, or plus HP. Okay, so we definitely want to go with either HP or surface visibility. I guess we'll go with the surface visibility. I don't actually know which is better, but it's fine. It'll be absolutely A-okay. Ah. Okay, so that's going to make a big difference. That's interesting. They still control a lot of this territory here. British Malaya is in here at this point. And they are in the Allies faction. Okay. So that's noted. We're just going to continue to press in over this way, and we absolutely need to do some significant reorganization here. So I want to grab the tank army here. I want to have this fully assigned down here. No. Hang on. Which of these is which? This is Army Group 2. This is Army 15. Okay. This is a mess. Noted. That is absolutely noted. So we're going to need to move some troops down over this way, for sure.
Hey, come out.
I want all of these guys to move this direction for now. Okay. So we're going to get all of those stack wiped. That looks good. And then these tanks are going to frontline here. And we're going to have some of these units over here, frontline over here as well. We're not going to need that many, I don't think. So that's going to be fine. We're going to get them into position there. And then down over here, we need to take as much of this as we can, right? So this is a tank group. So let's offensive line to the sea, not in the sea, but to the sea, basically all the way over here, like that. That's just this army for right now. So that's understood, but this area should be pretty much in disarray. We should be able to get quite a bit of this, and we'll see. This is going to cause significant issues on this line, potentially. I'd like to push in here, I'd like to push in here,
Hey, come
and
on.
I'd like to push in here. Okay.
Go ahead, BTO.
Head on up over here for now. So there's a jet engine special project completed. That sounds good. And we can go for, I don't know, bouncing bombs. That sounds good. Okay, so there's definitely some problems over here right now. That's for sure. I want to grab any...
Push ya.
Okay, so there's also these tanks here. Right. We're going to need to completely reorganize all of this fairly soon. But what I want right now is I want to check for infrastructure. No infrastructure to be constructed. Okay, that's understood. So with that in mind, we're going to continue to push down over this way. This is mostly Japanese troops here. And with these guys here... Yeah, there are no divisions
come
here.
on.
That makes sense. With these guys here, I want them to front line, or rather offensive line, at least down to here. But we're not at war with these guys, right? We're not at war with British Malaya. So I don't think there's really too much to be done here. Unless British Malaya loses all of this territory. Which they are. This is a German Republic now? Are we at war with the German Republic? Hang on. I don't know. Let's see. They're in the Greater East Asian Co-Prosperity Sphere. So yes, we are at war with the German Republic. So that sounds good. We'll just continue to push down over here for now. And in that case, I want to select this. I want to delete this order. And we want to have this offensive line all the way down to here. As before. So that looks good. We'll get that going. Now, supply lines. Okay. I'm going to start a supply hub here. We do have this naval base over here. It's not much of a naval base, but it does exist. So we'll have that allow some supply. That seems good for the moment. Okay. I want to get this front cleaned up before we do too much reorganization up over this way. All we need to do is hold this line. So that should be good for now. In theory. So we'll just get this attack done. And I wouldn't mind attacking here either. But for now, this is good. As far as all this over here goes, we're still struggling a bit over here. So we know that they've got a naval base here. We know they have a naval base here. And they have a victory point here and here.
Push ya.
And then that's kind of it as far as their ability to deliver supplies to this area. So that's absolutely noted. I want to look at our ability to deliver supplies now. Okay, I definitely want to get a rail line going like that. And this rail line should be connected here. This should also be motorized, as should this. But otherwise, that looks pretty decent. Okay, so we'll just let that proceed for the time being, and we'll just continue to work on pushing in over this direction. I would prefer to push in the south over anywhere else, ideally. But if we can pocket some areas, that would be fine. So we have forces moving in over this way, and we're continuing to press down over this direction. So this is now owned by the Rattana-Kausen Kingdom again, but whatever. I think at this point, we're not going to have too hard of a time just continuing to push in, although this is a little bit forded up over here. So that's absolutely noted. That capitulation was awkward and didn't really do all that much, to be honest. I don't suppose we can take this position. Let's see if we can push that Japanese force out of there. But we're not terribly concerned about getting this dealt with up over here right now. Our focus is going to be on cleaning up this and this for the moment. So that seems good. I want to get that dealt with for sure. And I'm wondering what the minimum number of divisions here is. So area defense 72 at this moment. Okay. So this is probably going to have to go over 72. And that's understood. So we're just going to continue to push in over here. We see that this is where they're getting a good chunk of supplies from. They're getting supplies from here and supplies from here. So for now, we just need to continue to push in. So we have Hut Yai at this point, and that gives us some flow of supplies. And actually, we should cancel this supply hub, because this one is absolutely fine. So let's make sure that that's motorized. There we go. And that'll give us supplies right in this area. I like it. So over this direction, supplies continue to be a little bit scarce for us. I would love to see the fall of Phnom Penh, and to that end, well, we really need to get hubs built over this way. That's what we really need more than anything. These hubs are getting a lot closer, so that looks good. This should be motorized. That will help matters a lot, as will this. Now we can demotorize a lot of these if we run into truck issues. For the moment, I don't think we're really running into truck issues right now. Yeah, we've got another 100,000 in the stockpile, so that looks absolutely fine for the moment. Basic cruiser armor scheme and advanced large airframe, both finishing up. Okay, this is absolutely fine. And then we can continue to work on some of these other researches. We've got plenty of things to go for here. Okay, that seems fine. So we're getting close to pocketing this area up here, and in fact, I want to assist this attack here and here. I would love to see this actually get pocketed up this way. That would be huge. Okay, no one's traveling in there. Can we just go in? Thank you. That would be great. So this area is going to get pocketed, and they will have no logistics fulfillment up there. So that's perfect. We need to get additional forces up over here, but all of these tanks that are here now, they should just immediately start attacking. Attack wherever you can. This area is encircled, and I'd love to get this cleaned up and get those forces redistributed elsewhere. So that looks good. We do have these units here that are busily attempting to push in, but we'll see what happens with that. So these guys are now pocketed. Yeah, this is going very well up here. We're getting this pocket completely cleaned up. Get in here. Beautiful. Pocket eliminated. Now we've got this down here, and there's this front over here. We're working on it. We are actually getting close to taking this victory point. Get in here, tank. Kick them out of here. We could even have this guy support this attack, and this infantry unit join the attack. So they're going to get kicked out of there. That sounds good. This is a pocket up here at this point. So any tanks that are assigned to this, I want to just move directly in like this. There we go. This area is pocketed, and we will get that dealt with as well. So that looks great. Down over this direction, we're definitely making progress. This victory point has fallen. Is that a supply hub? It is, because it has a naval base. So we're just going to move our rail line down like that, and let's make sure that this is motorized. There we go. Looks good. So we're going to continue to push through here. We've got some supplies in this area. That seems great. Up in the north, up here, I want to grab any of these tanks that exist and tell them, get in here. You two, get up here. Okay, that didn't go well on the bottom side here, but that's absolutely okay. Let's get these isolated and get them completely eliminated. Excellent. So this is kind of a rout over here at this point. That's wonderful. Very happy to see that. So any tanks that are in this area should come in here and get rid of these guys. They'll stack wipe very quickly, in theory. Yeah, there they go. Excellent. Down over this direction, this is a little wider of a front at this point. That's understood, but we're not having too hard of a time with it. That seems great. I want to check in on loss counts. Okay, we're definitely doing very, very well on that. Okay, mutinies in the army, huh? We're going to hold a patriotic speech. We'll spend some political power on that. In fact, we could get another corps going, but we're not really ready to do that yet. So let's just continue to wipe out these last remaining holdouts over here and continue in the south. At this point, Phnom Penh is going to fall very soon, looks like, because once we have this, we're in a good position to attack it.
अपनी जगह लो।
Get in here and assist this attack. Okay. So we're still working on getting these guys stack wiped. They're still holding out for now, but not too much longer, to be honest. Down this direction, we're still pushing through. Ooh, this looks good. Kuala Lumpur is going to fall very soon, it looks like. That's excellent. And we're attacking Phnom Penh not particularly successfully right now. But these guys up here, they're going to fall soon, and that will mean that a lot of these divisions are going to get reassigned to more useful locations, and that's great. Get in here and help out. Actually, everybody over here, get in here and help out. Just get them fully rooted out. Okay, there's the early destroyer research finishing. We can definitely continue to work on stuff. So surface visibility is the only option there. We'll take it. And the 36 destroyer. Why not? Seems good. Just waiting on this last stack wipe here. There we go. Excellent. There's a dangerous naval invasion in northern China. Yeah, this is not all that dangerous. It's fine. Not a problem there at all. So here in southern Asia, we're absolutely going to continue to push in here. Phnom Penh has fallen, by the way, at this point. So I want to check in the supply situation. I absolutely want to build a hub here and connect this via rail, like so. That'll be fine. And then a supply hub out over here. Is there a victory point out here? No, actually. So a supply hub out here is going to be quite important. I'm going to put one, well, there's one here, but I'm also going to put one here. So that'll be fine. Let's get going on a rail line that connects in about like that. Okay, so that looks good for the time being. There is a supply hub here that can be motorized and should be. And there's this one over here that should also be motorized. So that'll give us better supplies down over this direction. And we can definitely see that this is becoming a bit of a thing. How many...
Hey, come on.
Okay. These tanks. Gotcha. So, that's a little awkward, right? These guys are not assigned to this order, so I think I'm going to give them a separate offensive line order that is actually just literally the same thing. And they're also going to be executing that. We're only attacking with one of our armies of tanks right now, and I'd like to attack with both. So at this point, what is their supply situation here? They are receiving supplies here and here. And that's it. We're within striking distance of here, so I would absolutely love to start seeing some attacks going on over this way. It's going to be a bit of a struggle for us to attack over here, for sure. But I definitely want to see this fall. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to finish off this little area here, and we're probably going to finish this off as well, most likely. These attacks aren't going tremendously well right now, but that will definitely improve going forward. This guy is currently in retreat, and we should probably move this unit over. So that looks fine for now, but once this is done, things will get a lot better for us, and we'll start to be able to reorganize and turn this into a single, properly unified front, which is exactly what I want to do. So that'll be a next episode sort of thing. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.